pretty much it. So that was kind of how I got into van life.
You know what, Allison? I think there is a possibility we were never even live.
Wait, what?
I don't think we were even live.
No, I think we're live. Are we live?
Did y'all all see all of that or no?
Oh no! Now I just see it's live 30 seconds. And scene. Let me start over.
Gotta hit the button.
I'll let you
Clearly,
start
this
over.
ranch water is already working well. So we have had a whole half a show off air. And so just in case you don't know who this lady is, right here next to me in the general vicinity, oh, that way. This is
Yes.
Allison from Travel Snacks. Welcome, Miss Allison.
Thank you for having me. I'm loving being here.
So we were talking about your van life journey, which started in 2019 in
Yes.
your car. And you're gonna have to tell us about your experience in your car, and then you were telling us about how you even started van life. So,
Look, hey, practice makes perfect. So I'll say it again. Danette's gonna hear it like 3 times in a row now.
all I saw was this comment, and I'm like, "What are they talking about?" He says, "Who's this?" Adriana says, "I guess Allison is snacking and Jeanette is finding the internet connection." And
We
I'm
were
like,
having a whole
"What's
conversation.
happening?"
Yeah, we
We
were
had a
having a whole
whole
conversation.
conversation.
Um, all right, so I host the YouTube channel called Travel Snacks, and Danette had asked me earlier how I got into van life. So I was just telling her that back in 2018, my kids finally moved out of the house, and I wanted to travel, and so I started traveling internationally. I went to Europe. I went to South America. I loved it. I wanted to do it full time, and so I had been at my job for about 11 years, and I was over it, and I wasn't going anywhere in that company anyway. So I was like, I'm going to quit and travel full time. Now, I didn't have another job or any income. YouTube wasn't paying me anything. I just had some savings. And so I just looked around and I was like, well, I can't travel internationally anymore because I ain't got the money like that. So I said, I have a car. I'm going to see if I can live in this car and deck it out as best I can and just start seeing if I could save money so I don't have to go on hotels and stuff. So I went for 3 weeks from California to Vancouver. I loved it. And so when I got back to my parents' house, I decided to take a long journey in my car until the pandemic hit and I had to come back to California. And at that time, none of us knew what was happening. So I decided at that time I would buy a van and my dad and I would renovate it. So that's how I got into van life. I wasn't even ready for van life. I think I was still really into car life. Uh, but we had time on our hands. So I was like, let me go ahead and do this now. So that's how I did it.
So, with that being said, since you really enjoy car life, do you feel like it's something that you would go back to, or are you happy with Simon, or is it something that you would do part time, especially now with gas prices?
I've spent so much time building Simon out, building my van out. I do love it. I do feel a bit of a pull at times to maybe go back to a car just because when you're in a van, and my van is a high top van, so you can't go to all the places. Like you can't go through drive throughs. Not that that's the most important thing in life, but sometimes. And there's just, when you're in a car or even like a minivan or SUV, it's a little more stealth. It's like a regular vehicle. So you could just park, and I felt a lot more unseen. And in this van, I
Hmm.
feel very seen. And that's probably in my mind because probably people aren't paying that much attention. But there's times where I'm like, if I had my car still, I think I would take, maybe park my van for a month and just zip out in my car and do that. But I sold my car. So this is all I got.
All right, all right, all right. Well, maybe one day we'll see Allison in like a little Chevy Spark or something. I do have a friend that's like taller than me and was living in a Chevy Spark, so apparently it's possible. You gotta take half of it apart, but
Yeah.
so Mobang inserted that you have a 2003 Chevy Express Explorer.
Yes.
Fantastic. Those are the ones that like I want so bad. But just like you're saying, I'm really enjoying being in my SUV. However, I'm not as stealth as I was when you last saw me. I added an addict on, I don't know why I keep adding a T on there. I can talk in English. But I added an addict to my car. And I'm trying to find the best solutions to make sure that it stays on my car at 80 miles an hour, maybe
Yeah.
even 90, 95. But yes, I hope everyone is enjoying the conversation. Guys, ask us or Allison anything that you want to, or almost anything that you want to. We're here to answer questions and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Do you want to cheers again?
so yes, let's do a quick cheers again. How did you pop it again? Oh, you have a soda. All
I
right.
don't drink, so I'm
Cheers, my
drinking ginger
friend.
ale, but cheers. Oops.
Cheers, my friend, and thank you for being here. I surely appreciate you taking time out of your evening. Because I know we've all got stuff that we need to be doing, and but I appreciate you so very much
I
for
appreciate you.
taking a little bit of time. So, Outdoor says her ProMaster City Cargo van still parks in her garage, and MPG is great.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
If I didn't lose my
Um,
roof, I would have been able to park this van the way it came. Uh,
mhm.
I could have probably parked in a garage, but my dad and I cut the roof off and lifted it, so now I can stand in it. But it really, makes it taller, so it doesn't fit in the garage anymore.
So I watched those videos, but how difficult was it to do that? Because just watching is like, oh, that wasn't that bad. But is it even more difficult than what you see? Because I mean, we all know the tricks of the trade. There's cuts, there's edits. I'm sure there's words taken out, there's bumps and bruises that we never saw.
Lots of arguments with my dad. No one saw those. They saw only like the tiniest fraction, but we fought a lot. We're good now, but during that time, it was super stressful. Um, we did fight a lot. There was times where I was like, I'm packing up everything. I'm just gonna leave with what I got. I don't care if it's half done. I don't got this. I don't got that. And my mom would be the peacekeeper, and she'd be like, "Now you guys figure it out." Because my dad and I, we don't speak the same language. He's old
Hmm.
school, and I'm not that I'm not old school, but I was watching however many videos I could watch on van building. So he has the skill for building houses and being, he builds a lot of things with his hands. He's worked with his hands all his life. And I was watching like so many van builds. So I was like, no, we
Right.
have to do it certain ways because it is a vehicle. It can't be built. Some things can't be built the same way. There's like specific measurements that you got to do. And he'd be like, no, let's just throw something up. And I'm like, no. Um, so cutting off the roof, I guess I just assumed that my dad could do it because, my dad, he's all my life, he's just been someone that I know he could just do stuff. So we just worked at it together. It took a long time to do that roof because we made a lot of like errors. Um, so it took like 2 months just us trying to figure out how to do it properly. Um, like you said, if people watch the video, it's already step by step out now. If somebody wanted to do it, it would be um, more easy to follow that. But during the time, it was difficult. It was definitely difficult.
Wow. And how did you guys manage to build the roof yourselves rather than going and getting a roof and just adding it on?
So I did look into buying a fabricated roof, but the companies in California, there's like really only one main one, and it was like $3,000 or $4,000, and I was like, no, because I don't have a job, and I'm living off the rest of my little savings, so that's not going to work. Um, and people were saying, well, go to a junkyard and just get like um, whatever, like a roof off of something else, or like go get an old boat and turn it upside down. But where my parents
What?
live, I know a boat, right? Um,
It's an
they live
idea.
in a smaller town, so there's not like a massive junkyard or a junkyard where you could just go pick apart things. Um, I think sometimes people imagine themselves in their city or town and they give advice based on what they have. But my parents, they live in a small desert town, so for us to go find stuff, we'd have to drive far, and we'd have to take either my dad's truck or the van, which was being worked on. So you can't just leave with it.
Right.
So yeah, so there was other things that I did think about um, in terms of trying, but at the end, it was just easier for us to cut it and frame it out and build it.
Wow. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah,
And I think, like, as far as companies that do that, there's like maybe only a handful. I think there's one here in Texas, and there's one or two in California. And I think there's one like on the East Coast somewhere, maybe like Atlanta,
yeah, maybe. Yeah, they
which
don't.
is
They're not.
weird
Yeah,
because
and it's not that it's that expensive because you know, like you said, it's demand. So they're doing a great job. I know Bob Wells, Cheap RV Living. He's, for those of you that don't know, he's got like a major YouTube channel. Before he got his ambulance, his old van, he did pay to get his fabricated. He paid the money to do it, and he said it was well worth it. So they did a great job. The people do a great job. It's just you have to kind of bite the bullet and pay the money. So I didn't want to do that.
yeah, I am the same way. So I feel you on that.
Yeah.
So, how did you end up being Travel Snack? Like, where did that come from? Because it's brilliant.
Um, I came up with the name when I was still traveling in Europe because I was gonna back when in 2018 I was gonna start my YouTube channel, and it was too hard. It was too hard to travel by myself. Had my job at the time, so I was remote working. It was hard to get internet because I was in like small places, smaller, not smaller places, but like parts of Italy or parts of Budapest or whatever that didn't have great service. So I couldn't do it. I physically just couldn't make it happen. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a podcast. So I started out doing the Travel Snacks podcast, um, and I came up with the name. I think when I was in Budapest because I was hungry, and I was like, this is like how a lot of stories start with me. I was hungry, and I didn't want to go out and like because I was on foot, of course, and I was like, God, I wish I had Travel Snacks, and I had already been thinking about like a name for the podcast. I was like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, that's like the greatest name because I love to eat and I love traveling. So it just came to me. It was like I love that. That's gonna be the name of the podcast, and that just when I started my YouTube channel was originally called Allison Loves, and I used to start with "Hello, lovers." That's You can watch some of my old videos and you'll see it. But then once I got done, I was doing the tail end of the podcast, going into YouTube, and so I was like, I'm going to change the name. So it took a bit of a like not a hit, but it kind of took a minute for YouTube to start recognizing a little bit that I changed the name, but I'm glad I did because it's now like we have a community, and I didn't want to just be like my name. So we have a community, snack packers, who I love so much. So yeah,
That's
so I think
awesome.
it worked out.
And I've been on your lives, and I love the snack pack. They're all so super super sweet, which everybody here is also super super
Yay!
sweet. So, Mobang says nothing that is self built went smoothly. You only have so much time you can put on a YC video, so we tend to trim out the unimportant info. That's true.
Yeah,
And then you have to decide what's unimportant after you've already trimmed out a bunch of stuff.
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, do people care about this? I feel like people are gonna get bored watching this, so I'm gonna cut this other part out.
Yeah, it's hard to make the decision. So right now, do you have like do you do everything yourself now still?
I do all my editing, all my filming. Um, I've a couple times last year I started looking into hiring an editor. It's
Bye,
expensive.
Grant.
Bye, Grant.
I'll see you
Um,
later.
See you tomorrow. um, I I priced it out, and it's one of those things where I'm so used to editing my videos, even though I take a long time to edit my videos. In my mind, I'm like, how am I going to explain this to somebody? You know, how am I going to help them to understand what I see, or what I want clipped out, or what I want to stay, or like
Hmm.
the style of music that I would want. So eventually, I really do want to pay somebody, because I will have more time to film and show more things. But for right now, it's it's a money thing. I could hire somebody now, but it's going to bite into, the money that I earn on YouTube, and also a timing thing, because then I'm going to have to, just show somebody over and over until they get it, which is fine.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe sometime later this year I'll start looking into that.
So is that something that you really want to do, or is it kind of like it would just give you more time to be able to do what it is that you really want to do, which is film and go see and do things?
Um, yeah, I'd say it's 80% of what I'd like to do, because it's not that I hate editing. It's that it's so time consuming that I find myself like 8 hours in just being like, oh my gosh, like at the end of it, I'm just sick of it. I'm over it. I'm over looking at myself. I'm over hearing it. I'm like, then you start questioning, is this even going to be like something people will care about? So I was like kind of thinking about the idea of maybe hiring somebody to do like the basic, like clip out some of the unimportant things, put it
Hmm.
together, and then I can go in and just add the music and add some like fun gifs
Yeah,
and
that
stuff
wouldn't
like
be a
that. Yeah. So,
yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That way, it still has your flavor
right.
without like.
Then I'm maybe
Okay,
cutting
yeah.
the time in half that I'm editing videos, and then I wouldn't mind paying, for someone to do half of it.
So if you don't mind me asking, how long does it typically take you?
Oh, it could take, depending on the video, usually like between 6 to 8 hours, sometimes longer per video.
I'm clearly doing this wrong.
I think it depends on the type of channel people have, though, because like if you have a channel, like both my sons do YouTube, or at least my older son's still doing YouTube. He sits in front of a camera and he does reactions. So if you're in one
Hmm.
spot and you're doing one thing, the editing is faster because you're just clipping out. But I travel, so I'm like trying out restaurants, and I'm trying to, go to different places, and I'm, driving, so I'm having the camera up here, and then I got this, and uh, I think the hard part comes when, like, if you go to a restaurant and they're playing music, so that means that I can't use the audio, so that means I got a voiceover later, but that takes more
Hmm.
time.
Yes.
So
That's the part that I have not gotten used to is the voiceover because it never sounds the way that I want it to sound.
yeah.
I'm like, how come it doesn't sound the way that it sounds on TV? It sounds all hollow and weird. I hate that.
I just use my phone, to be honest. Like when I do my voiceovers, I'll just hold my phone on video, like pointed, away from me, and I just talk like this. It's like, and then I went to this restaurant and had brownies and whatever, and then I just upload it and put it towards, the audio part of the video.
So, quick question. Have you ever worn a trash bag?
Ooh, I mean, I don't think so. Have you worn a trash bag?
I have not. Um, the closest thing I would say that I've worn to a trash bag is a plastic bag over my head before I had dreads to cover my hair. And maybe like, the rain coats that they have, like the little quick ones.
Yep, yep.
It's probably the closest.
I've
Where
worn
did
that.
this question come from, trash bag fashion lover?
That's a good. I don't. I'm trying to think of like, in a pinch, like you said, the little quick ones in the bag, you could make your
Mm-hmm.
own by just cutting the circle neck part and the arms
Yeah,
out
and
and
then
just
some
put a trash
arms.
bag. But this person
Yeah.
seems like they have a whole line of trash bag attire.
So let us know. Hello, James Schmidt. I like your name. Mobang has no rain gear. Um, you don't need any. You can just use a trash bag and
Well,
then a plastic bag to cover your head.
would I wear a trash bag? Not in the summer because that seems very sweaty. I'm
Oh
hot today.
yeah, that would be
I'm in the desert.
terrible.
I feel hot and sweaty right now, but maybe in the winter, like if it's a fashionable situation, I'm not sure where I would wear that, but I don't know.
Lisa says use the trash bag for yarn. I lost the comment.
Make yarn to do rugs.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but
I
that
think it's like
thing.
you weave it into the rugs. Uh, like
Oh,
if you're doing like the like little weave kind of rug.
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I've never done
You
it,
could
but
do
I
that.
think I've heard of it being done.
But someone says for the homeless, but we are not homeless. We are,
Houseless.
yes, we choose not to live in houses, and some of us do live in houses, but some of us don't choose to do uh, complete nomad life. And some of us have spouses that don't want to do it, so they take time. I know there's someone here on the stream. If he wants to call himself out, feel free. But his wife doesn't want to do anything nomadic. However, he has a nomadic soul, so he goes out for a little bit at a time and comes back home to his wife,
Oh,
which I think
nice.
is great. If I could have a husband that would let me do that, I might consider getting married. Be like, hey, I'm gonna leave for like a couple of months, but
You like
I don't
somebody?
know any guys that would go for that.
I don't know. I mean, I would prefer having a partner that would want to do it with me.
I think I would too. Or at least like someone who had the ability to meet me somewhere. Like, I'm gonna be here. Can you meet me in like 2, 3 weeks at the most?
Right. Like a
Then I
nomadic.
don't have to miss you.
Right. Somebody that maybe has a remote job.
Right. So I think like that could be able to work. Like, I haven't really, well, I won't lie. I've kind of got into it, but I haven't really got into it because I'm still pretty new. But how do nomads date?
I think you're asking the wrong person on that one. Uh, Listen, I've tried the Tinders on the road. It's the same everywhere. It's a lot of talk, a lot of not even talk. Like it's a lot of texting, and then it's like, do you want to meet up? And then it's like, sure, I'd like to meet up, but then it's like some people have like, you know, just sexual intentions. I'm not even trying to
Mhm.
do that. I'm just trying to meet up for a coffee. Or you'll set up something. They'll say you want to get together on Saturday, sure, and Saturday comes, and then like Monday they're like, how was your weekend? And you're like, well, we were supposed to get together. Did you not remember that? Oh yeah, whatever. And so it's just a lot of that sort of thing. And I think I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm too tired for that. So I'm not opposed to dating on the road, but it really hasn't panned out for me.
What you're saying is I'm going to be single forever, which is fine too.
I,
But
I mean, I'm not going to say that because I still hold out hope for you and for me, but I'm just saying maybe Tinder or those like apps are not maybe the way to go. Maybe it'll be more, you know, as you're
I've
like at some of these events or something,
and meet
maybe.
somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Van City Van Life and the cat lady are doing it.
Yes.
Which you know what? Here's the funny part. I called it months ago. Me and my friend Tina, Brace No Man, we called it months ago. We were like, why are they trying to hide this? It's so obvious. They keep meeting up so many times. It was like, yes, they could be just really good friends. I was like, but just their chemistry together was like, they're together. And so now they're together, but now I'm glad that they're going there, doing their trips.
Yeah,
That makes me happy.
definitely.
Uh, if a guy asks you on a date and owns trash bags on a regular basis, would you date him or not?
Oh, wears trash bags on a regular basis?
Yeah,
I mean, that I can't answer that question until I find out why.
yeah, I think that would be the question.
Like, why? That's a different type of a choice, and I'm not putting anybody's choices down, but I would want to know why.
Yeah. So, but so as someone, so since 2019, that's 4 years,
I'm bad with math, but 20.
5 years.
What year are we in? Three
We're
years.
in 22. There's three,
3 years, yeah.
24, 3 years. So, what advice can you offer us? Like me, definitely as a newbie, because like I'm going into like, wait, it's the end of the month. It's been a year.
Yay!
I just realized
I
it. Like
love
this
it.
time last year, I was taken off and went to Magnolia Beach.
Nice.
So, what would your advice be for someone who wants to do this full time?
Two things come to mind is I know it's a lot of times for people it's easier said than done, but try to put your fear to the side because I always tell people fear is not real, danger is real. So, like, I'm parked in a parking lot right now and like a Home Depot, whatever. I could be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so scared someone's going to smash in my window and like they're going to rob me. That's not actually happening. And that's in my mind. It's not in anybody else's mind. If it is in somebody's mind that they're thinking about doing that, that has nothing to do with me. And it's not a real thing.
Hmm.
It's just a fear. It's just a thought. Danger, if I peeked out and somebody was standing outside with a knife or a rock in their hand, like about to, that's danger. That's different. So a lot of times people are like, oh, I can't do this because I'm afraid of this XYZ. It's, you got to let go of those things that may or may not happen because most of the time it's not going to happen. And number two, I'd say is let go of the outcome. If you have it like set in your mind that your journey is going to look like this and like this and like this, 9 times out of 10, it's going to give you a lot of different challenges and you just got to roll with it. You know, you can do hard things. We can all do hard things. We're so like used to trying to be comfortable. And the more comfortable we get, the more complacent we get. And challenges are
Hmm.
good. Challenges make you stronger. Challenges are like, you know what? I am strong. I can do this. I've done this before. I can do this. So let go of whatever your perceived outcome is, that it has to go X, Y, Z in certain order. And I would say your journey will be a lot smoother.
Yes, I agree with that 100. I just did a video on fears, but yeah, overcoming your fears will help you grow for sure and become the person that you're looking to become.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all trying to do something to get better, but you have to be willing to go through things
Yeah,
that are different from what you've already been through.
yeah,
So, and I think it becomes difficult because you're like, yeah, the hard stuff. I mean, sometimes that hurts, but you have to be willing to grow from that.
yeah. But what's funny is, like somewhere along life, we all like kind of bought into this story that life's supposed to be easy. Life is supposed to be comfy. I'm not supposed to work hard. I'm not, you know, and especially like with the era that we're in with technology and like there's so many things that makes it so easy. You can order food everywhere. You could, you know, just have somebody deliver anything to you. But we've all become just so lazy and so disconnected to each other.
Hmm.
And you get mad at somebody if they didn't deliver your food like 1 second sooner, or you yell at somebody, they cut you off, or you don't want to talk on the phone anymore, or people just don't have patience for each other. And what's happening is everyone feels isolated and lonely. And
Yes.
so everyone like so many people I talk to, they're like, I feel so alone. And it's like, well, even me, I was so depressed and lonely. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing to like rectify that? So I had to push myself to start trying to make new friends, you included, you know, we met at the RTR. Um,
Yeah,
and you just have to like try to step out and push past that thought of like, this should be easy. It doesn't have to be easy. It's okay to
no,
not.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think the things that are not as easy, there's a bigger reward.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I would like to say a big hello to my mom, Chandra. Hey, how are you?
Hey. Oh.
Um, so yeah, it was. Like it's not easy for me because there's like nobody in my family. Probably, I guess my sister's dad would probably be the closest to someone who he owned his own business and he loved to travel back and forth from Florida to Texas. So he would probably be the closest
Yeah.
to what I'm doing. So, but I'm just like out here, and every time I tell them, they're like, "So you don't work anywhere anymore?" I'm like, "No, I work for myself. I work on the interwebs now, and I deliver food, just in the meantime until what it is that I really want to do, like kicks up." But I mean, it took a lot, but I watched so many videos for so long, including yourself. You were also a very huge encouragement.
Thank you.
Um, but I was like, okay, well, either you're going to do it or you're going to figure out how to make the life that you have work for you.
Yeah.
And the life that I had just was not working for me. I was not happy.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah.
I should have had your theme songs. I don't know how to do that. I need to figure out how to get.
I'm about to ask you how to do something. Thanks, because I see you got it all decked out with the colors and the background, and I feel like I'm chopped liver over here with my live stream. I'm like, mine looks terrible compared to yours.
I'm learning. I love, you know what, Allison? I have one of the things that I have learned about myself. I really, really do love this tech stuff. I like getting into a new program and learning it like as much as I can before like I go looking for YouTube videos for instructions or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's the craziest thing. I'm okay with sitting here looking crazy, not pushing the live button and learning that hard lesson.
Yeah.
But because in the future, like everyone gets easier and it gets better.
Yeah.
So, and I have so much fun doing this.
Yes.
Swearing equals sweating. What?
Oh, outdoor dash
Oh,
earlier. Yeah. Stop sweating it.
okay.
Yeah. Own your life.
If it isn't going to matter in 6 months, stop sweating it out on your life. Amen
Amen
to
to
that,
that.
my
Yes.
friend.
Amen to that.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And I think that is something that we can all live by.
Definitely. Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, we worry about a lot of
So
things that don't really need to be.
they don't worried about.
Yeah.
Like
So,
just it's hard to because we're so conditioned to everything that comes across your table. Oh, do I need to deal with it right now? I need to deal with it right now. Do you really though?
right.
You have to really decide. Just the same way we make videos. You need to decide what actually matters and what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Take it out, remove it, let it go.
Yeah. And a lot of times, when you're thinking about what to let go, a lot of times I've found with people, they're thinking about other people. What would this person think if I do this or don't do this? And, you know, that's not a great way to live because you're going to stress yourself out thinking about how to please every single person. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's better to just be like, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing right now? For real.
Because you're never going to please every person.
No.
Trust me. I know. I live my whole life that way. And yeah,
Yes,
I'm over
exactly.
it. I'm over it now.
Yeah.
Hello, Hope Bus. Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you so much. And mom says, "Hello, Allison. Thank you for the advice that you have given."
Oh, you're welcome.
So, but, and I appreciate you so much, definitely. But, hmm, so I have to ask Travel Snack, what is your favorite travel snack?
Oh my gosh. This is like a
Now,
very
recently, I will bring up the fact that recently I sent you a very nice picture, and I when I learned how to do an extra screen, I wish I could bring it up, but of some Shipley's donuts.
I'm so angry about this because I wanted those Shipley donuts. So I had Shipley's for the first time when I went to visit my son. He lives in Dallas. Um, so I drove over to the Shipley's and I was like, dude, these donuts are delicious. Um, as is a lot of things in Texas. Uh, so I don't know. That's such a hard question because I can narrow it down. I don't know if I could pick just one travel snack, but I'd say something that I could probably snack on every day is chips and salsa or chips and guacamole. Like
That is good.
I could just eat it for dinner. It's I could just fill up on that and be done with it. Not healthy, but that's what I could.
Now, but wait, do you also do chips and queso?
I mean, yeah, who's not doing
I
that?
noticed that outside of Texas, chips and queso is not a huge thing.
It's
But
not.
since you've been here and you know about it, where do you stand on the
Oh,
point?
I loved queso, but the thing is I'm lactose intolerant, so it's like I got to take a lactate pill. It's a whole thing, but I will eat the queso because I love it, and I'm also trying to lose weight, so I'm like, is a liquid cheese the best thing for me right now? Probably not, but when I go to Texas, I do get it, and also in Florida, I noticed some of my friends are always going to like places that have queso, so I don't know if it's like catching on over there, but I do love
Um,
queso.
there's a possibility, and I know this is going to sound silly, but that it's a southern thing. I know like Arizona and you're in Southern California, but I think it's like, this East Coast
Yeah,
Southern thing. I'm not really sure though.
maybe.
I didn't notice it a lot in Louisiana. Did you?
No,
Well,
because
they've got their own thing happening though.
they have so many other things. I think they're like, we would do it, but we have other things going on, like beignets and like crawfish and just all
Oh my
like other things.
God. First of all, I had crawfish yesterday. It was so good. But there is a new beignet place here in
Oh,
Texas. Like it just opened. I looked over and I saw it.
oh,
But it makes me nervous because, I mean, it's Texas. So how good is it going to be?
you'll have to go test it out.
And I'll have to take note and let you know if it's good.
Yeah, because when I roll through Texas, I'm gonna be trying it. I want to try it.
So, because I fell in love with some beignets, but I also, when you get to Texas, Allison, you have to try sopapillas. I know when I was there and I was
Yeah,
like, I want some sopapillas so
I haven't
bad.
had
You were
that.
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
But when I sent you the picture, you were like, oh, that looks pretty good.
that does. It looked really
But,
good.
but you will have to try some sopapillas. It is along the lines of beignets.
Mm.
Um, but it's so good. But you do it with honey instead. You can put it.
Mm.
They sometimes some restaurants will put a little bit of powdered sugar on, but not nearly as much.
Yeah,
But you do it with honey.
it sounds so
Think
good.
I'm gonna think I'm gonna leave here and go have me some afterward. Now I'm getting hungry.
I know. Sounds so good.
So my friend, oh, I cannot wait to try the food in states when we hit the road. Hope busts.
Oh, there's so much good food
Oh,
there.
there is a lot of good food, and I would say be very open minded when you go because I think that I wasn't ready. So when I was trying all this food, even my favorite foods in different states, I felt more disappointed. So leaving here this time, I think I've got my mind more open. I
What were
know
you
I love the
disappointed
food and
about?
everything was good, but it was just not as flavorful as it is here. It seems like I don't know. I think maybe in Houston we're a little heavy on the seasoning, and I
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
I
Are you into
mean,
spicy food?
I love spicy food.
Oh no,
It
I'm
is
the
number
opposite.
one for me.
Oh, I want negative spicy. So maybe that's why my experience is better because I like all varieties until it gets to spicy. Then I think I'm allergic to spicy because I think,
Really?
yeah, it's like even sometimes black pepper is spicy to me.
No.
It's terrible.
There
You don't
is.
even,
It's so funny because there was what did I do? I think it was like an Instagram story. Don't ask me why. A whole Instagram story on black pepper versus white pepper and how to mix it together to make some good eggs in the morning. What's
hmm.
the whole situation? Have you ever had white pepper? Well, you probably would not like white pepper because it is spicier than black pepper.
So what I've learned about myself is I can usually do something that has like maybe jalapenos, but anything that has a red spice, like chili, like red chilies or anything, chipotle sauce or anything, I can't. Like my whole mouth is
You,
like burning, burning.
oh
Like my
no,
lips are
it
burning.
could
My
be.
nose is just, I can't even do it. I can't.
It
It's,
could be an allergy. Oh no, that's terrible.
I know,
But
I
you know
know.
what we had that was good? And I can't remember the restaurant. The pasta restaurant that we went to.
Oh, that was delicious.
That was
I don't
fantastic.
remember the name either, but
I loved that 100%. And I'm sure I'd have to go back into my Instagram stories to find it, but that was fantastic.
it was really good. I'd go back there. It was
Yeah.
in Carlsbad, California.
I could not remember the name of that to save
Yes,
my life.
it was delicious. Other than
Um,
the pasta, though, like you can, I mean, I love pasta, and actually, I'd say number one top food I like is Mexican and then Italian.
let's see. If I had to think about it, number one is Mexican for sure, and then
Yeah.
number two is Creole.
Oh,
But I mean, you have to look at where I'm from. I mean,
right.
I was born in Alabama, I was raised in Texas, and I went back and forth, and it's just, I mean, it's in me, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Texas Bama, baby, you know, H Town all the way down, you know, I represent. Vicky, build this bus and show us. Do you have a channel? Because I would love to see you building a bus. I have a friend and she is actually building a bus right now. So I would love to see what you're doing with yours. Outdoor Dash says try some Japanese seasoning called ahi shokasho. I'm not saying that right. Salt and pepper seasoning.
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Oh, she's building a coach bus. That's even more fun.
Oh, 45 feet. Dang.
Wow, that's a house girl.
That's a full on situation.
But you know what? I used to love to watch those videos on the motor coaches. It's the big millionaire expensive ones.
Ooh.
I can't think of the name. They're so nice. They can make those big things look so nice though.
Yeah.
Uh, Adriana says I've been missing my favorite flavors for 12 years.
Oh.
Adriana, you do not get the gold medal. I'm sorry. You know why? Because we are in 2022 and you can order it from Amazon.
I mean, that's
So
facts.
bam.
But also, Adriana, aren't you going to be getting your flavors soon? You can get a silver
Exactly.
medal. You're not getting a gold medal.
You're not getting a gold for that.
We're mean
No,
to Adriana.
absolutely not. Adriana from Many Roads No Rules. I for the longest time was saying More Roads No Rules, but
I
from
miss
Many
her
Roads No
so.
Rules,
Yeah.
she is one of the best. I got to spend 3 or 4 days with her while I was in San Diego, and we had the best time. She is a very, very good friend as well as Allison. So I am not going to hold you much longer, Miss Allison. Is there any last thoughts that you would like to share with us?
I'm just excited for you, and I'm like 1 year is a big deal. I mean, when you hit a year, it's like, oh. I've overcome some obstacles. I know I can do this. And you're encouraging other people. So, give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, that's a big deal. And, for those of you that are considering doing this lifestyle or that just are on the fence, try it, jump in your car and go away for a weekend to see. And you might have challenges, but when you have a challenge, just say, okay, is this something I could get over even though it sucked? And then just
Yeah,
do it again and do it again until you find yourself seeing so many beautiful things and like, it's worth it. It becomes worth it.
it really does. There's so much to see. Even you see all these things on YouTube's and on big nation network channels, but there's so many little towns and stuff that you don't even think of. I did real quick before I let you go.
Yeah, sure.
I did one of the nature trails that you drive in St. Charles. It was so nice, and I do definitely need to do some more. Um, but it's just there's so much to see that you wouldn't
Yeah,
even think of. Don't go off the complete beaten path unless you
right.
know how. But don't be afraid to take a turn that you don't know completely about either. As
Yeah.
long as you can make a U turn, you're fine. Go do a little bit of exploring. I am outside on it.
Yeah,
But
I think it's like whenever I go places, I always try to like find the hidden, like what the locals only know about, little weird things or like roadside quirky things or whatever. Because you can go see all the popular stuff and you should, but there's always so many more little things that people are never talking about. And when you discover those things, you start going, wow, there's so much that I never even experienced. And also, just quick side note, you know, I don't watch the news, but if you're a person that likes to watch the news and you've heard like all my life, everyone was always like, "Oh, Florida sucks, Florida sucks," and then I'm like, in my head, thinking Florida sucks. So when I went to Florida, Florida's one of my favorite places, and I'm like, people tend to just spout off things that they've heard all their lives, for whatever reason. So when you start going to all these other states, you start realizing, you know, there's so many wonderful people out there. There's so many wonderful places, experiences, and it's not all what some people will tell you. So I say give it all a try.
yeah, have your own experiences. If Florida sucks, go find out for yourself
It didn't suck. It was
rather
awesome.
than
Yeah.
I have not had any bad experiences anywhere so far.
Yeah.
So, and currently I am from Florida to South California. I was going to
Yep.
say South Carolina, but I did do South Carolina as well.
Also beautiful.
So, coast to coast, I have not had any bad experiences. I've seen nothing but beautiful things.
Yep.
And that is while doing DoorDash.
Bam.
So, but do what it is that you want to do it your way, and have fun.
Yeah.
Allison, I thank you for your travel snacks and your inspiration, and also spending some time with us here on What a Do DG.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And
It
I
was a
will
blast.
see you tomorrow on your live show.
Yes. Tomorrow. Sunday I do the live stream at 4 what 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 6
And
p.m. your time.
6 p.m. my time. And I
Yes.
will be there. I'll be watching.
Awesome.
Outdoor Dash, I love you too. And I hope to be seeing you soon. I leave at the end of next week, but when I get back, I hope to be able to come and spend some time with you, Chica. But we will let Allison go because she's got some things she's got to do. Thank you all so much for being here this evening, and I will see you next week.
Bye.
But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like she's whenever. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like she's whenever